Now, welcome back to the Prospect Hub. We're talking about Mets prospects here. I actually got a very interesting article that popped up just going through Mets prospects on Google. But before we get in this video, I need you to hit the subscribe button and like this video. As you know, Jett Williams is the Mets' best position prospect. And he was best prospect the last few years with the Mets, and he's number 2 now. But the thought was that he was going to go to AAA and play in Syracuse. But that's not true. That's not the case. He's going to AA. And this is an article I found from, of all places, the Binghamton homepage. Headline: Mets number 2 prospect Jett Williams to start year with AA Binghamton. It's not interesting. He played in AA 2 years ago, the whole year, and he played really well. But the Mets are sending him back. Now, he was in Mets camp, and he impressed Mets camp, but interesting. Ponies fans will have the opportunity to watch a top prospect in the Mets system to start this year, Mets President of Baseball Operations David Stearns said on SMY Sunday afternoon. In the 7th inning of the Mets' penultimate spring training game of 2025 before heading to Houston for opening day, Stearns joined the longtime play-by-play man for Gary Cohen and former Mets infielder Daniel Murphy for an end-of-camp conversation on the air. During the interview, Stearns and the SMY crew touched on a variety of topics about the Mets organization heading into the new year, including the fate of several top prospects and where they'll begin this season. The Mets' number 1 prospect, according to MLB.com, Brandon Sprout, who pitched 11 games with Binghamton in 24, will be in Syracuse with the AAA team. Now, I would mention about Sprout, he's a player that has pitched a lot in his life. He pitched a lot in college. So he's ahead of a lot of minor league pitchers at the same rate. You know, when he got drafted in 23, he's ahead of a lot of pitchers just due to the fact he had more experience. When asked about Sprout's potential role with the Mets in 2025, Stearns believed the fast rising pitcher will tell them when he's ready for the big leagues through his performance. Quote, "What we need to see, frankly, is just success at Syracuse," Stearns said. "We're not going to put a timeline on it. I think he's an extremely impressive pitching prospect. He's very dedicated and clearly got the big velocity. We certainly believe he's up to the challenge, and once we see that, he'll be an option for us if we have a need." As for the Mets' number 2 prospect, Jett Williams, who's coming off of what can be ruled a lost season due to wrist injury in 24, Stearns says he will be playing in Binghamton to start the year and going right away. Stearns was asked about what positions Williams will be playing as he develops, based on potential fits with the Major League club. Jett, quote, "Jett will continue to play the 3 up-the-middle positions of second, short, and center field. We'll probably give him a little bit more exposure to center field than we have in the past. The center field situation is plenty malleable with the roster shaped as is. New York traded for Tampa Bay's power bat and wizard with the glove, Jose Siri, to replace the now Minnesota Twins center fielder Harrison Bader. Siri will likely split time with Tyrone Taylor, and occasionally Brandon Nimmo is slated for left field most days. Siri does not have minor league options left, meaning if New York wants to send him down, he'd be exposed to waiver. Somebody will pick him up. But Stearns has shown his willingness to part with players underperforming. Joey Wendell and Zach Short, 2024. Second base, and especially short, seem to be logjam with players like Jeff McNeil when he returns a week or so into the year. Brett Beatty and Luis Angel Cunha. So Williams' path to the majors could be out in center field if he performs well. But now, Ponies fans will get the opportunity to watch him in the first part of the 2025 season at the very least. Well, it'd be interesting to see what they've seen that they thought that he might not be ready for AAA. I mean, he did play in the Arizona Fall League, which he played well, but he struggled last year in AAA when he came back from an injury. But this is a very interesting move for the Mets to do. Usually they don't do that. The Mets are very aggressive when they send their players up. So, thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you later.